In the adversarial system of justice prevalent in Pakistan, the burden of proof rests squarely on the shoulders of the prosecution. This means that it is the responsibility of the prosecution to establish the guilt of the accused through compelling evidence and persuasive arguments. This fundamental principle, enshrined in Article 13 of the Constitution, dictates that the prosecution must prove the guilt of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt. This standard is intentionally high to protect individuals from wrongful convictions and to uphold the integrity of the judicial process. This burden is not a mere formality. It represents a cornerstone of our legal system, designed to safeguard the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. The presumption of innocence is a vital aspect of justice, ensuring that no one is punished without sufficient and convincing evidence of their guilt. Defense advocates play a critical role in ensuring that the prosecution meets this high burden. They meticulously review all evidence, question witnesses, and present counter-arguments to challenge the prosecution's case. They act as vigilant guardians, scrutinizing every piece of evidence presented by the state, challenging its veracity, and highlighting any inconsistencies or gaps that may raise reasonable doubt. This rigorous examination is essential to prevent miscarriages of justice and to ensure that only the truly guilty are convicted. The defense advocate's role is not to prove the innocence of their client. Rather, their duty is to ensure that the prosecution's evidence is thoroughly tested and that any reasonable doubt is brought to light. Instead, their primary duty is to expose any weaknesses in the prosecution's case, thereby ensuring a fair trial and preventing the wrongful conviction of an innocent individual. This process of rigorous scrutiny and challenge is fundamental to the adversarial system. This adversarial system, with its emphasis on the prosecution's burden of proof and the defense's right to challenge, forms the bedrock of a just and equitable legal system. It ensures that justice is not only done but is seen to be done, maintaining public confidence in the legal process. The high standard of proof required from the prosecution serves as a powerful safeguard against the misuse of state power and the potential for wrongful convictions. While the prosecution carries the burden of proof, their case is often built upon a foundation of evidence that may not always be as strong as it appears. This evidence, which is supposed to be the cornerstone of their argument, can sometimes be riddled with flaws and inconsistencies that, when properly identified, can significantly weaken their position. Defense advocates, armed with a keen eye for detail and a thorough understanding of the law, can effectively identify and exploit these weaknesses to cast doubt on the prosecution's narrative. Their role is not just to defend their client, but to meticulously dissect the prosecution's case, looking for any signs of weakness or error that can be used to their advantage. One common weakness is the fear reliance on unreliable witnesses. Witnesses, despite their best intentions, can often provide testimony that is less than accurate. Witnesses may be influenced by personal biases, faulty memories, or even external pressures, leading to inaccurate or fabricated testimonies. These factors can significantly undermine the credibility of their statements, making it easier for the defense to challenge their reliability. Another vulnerability lies in poorly handled or tampered evidence. The integrity of physical evidence is paramount in any legal case, and any mishandling can be a critical point of contention. Improper chain of custody, lack of proper documentation, or even intentional manipulation can severely compromise the integrity of physical or forensic evidence. These issues can cast significant doubt on the validity of the evidence presented by the prosecution. Furthermore, inconsistencies in witness testimonies, contradictions between evidence and witness accounts, or a lack of concrete evidence linking the accused to the crime can all create significant cracks in the prosecution's case. These inconsistencies can be highlighted by the defense to show that the prosecution's narrative is not as solid as it appears. By meticulously examining every aspect of the prosecution's evidence, defense advocates can expose these vulnerabilities, effectively raising reasonable doubt and strengthening their client's position. This thorough examination involves not just looking at the evidence itself, but also understanding the context in which it was gathered and presented. By doing so, the defense can build a compelling case that challenges the prosecution's claims and supports their client's innocence. Documentary evidence, encompassing a range of materials from official records to personal correspondence, often forms a crucial part of the prosecution's case. However, even seemingly irrefutable documents can be challenged effectively by a vigilant defense advocate. One approach involves verifying the authenticity of the document. This can include confirming the identity of the author, examining the document for signs of forgery or tampering, and scrutinizing the chain of custody to ensure it has not been compromised. Another strategy focuses on the document's content. Defense advocates can challenge the accuracy of the information presented, highlighting any inconsistencies, contradictions, or lack of corroboration with other pieces of evidence. Furthermore, the admissibility of the document itself can be challenged. If the document was obtained illegally, for example, through an unlawful search or seizure, the defense can argue for its exclusion from evidence. By meticulously analyzing and challenging documentary evidence, defense advocates can effectively undermine its reliability and weaken the prosecution's case. Physical evidence, ranging from weapons and fingerprints to DNA samples, often carries significant weight in criminal trials. This type of evidence is frequently seen as the cornerstone of the prosecution's case, providing what appears to be irrefutable proof of a defendant's guilt. However, it's crucial to remember that even seemingly compelling physical evidence is not beyond challenge. The defense has the right and the responsibility to question every piece of evidence presented against their client. Defense advocates must adopt a critical approach, questioning the integrity and relevance of such evidence. This involves not just a surface-level examination, but a deep dive into the origins and handling of the evidence. A key strategy involves scrutinizing the chain of custody. This is the documented and unbroken transfer of evidence from the crime scene to the courtroom. This meticulous process tracks the handling of evidence from the moment it is set in lights, is cartons collected to its presentation in court. Each person who handles the evidence must be accounted for, and any deviation from this process can be grounds for questioning the evidence's validity. Any gaps or inconsistencies in this chain can raise serious doubts about the evidence's reliability, suggesting potential contamination, tampering, or mishandling. For instance, if evidence was left unattended or improperly stored, its integrity could be compromised. Furthermore, the defense can challenge the methods used to collect, analyze, and interpret the evidence. Were proper procedures followed? Were the individuals involved properly trained and qualified? Were the instruments calibrated correctly? Even the most sophisticated forensic tools can yield inaccurate results if not properly maintained and operated. Could there be alternative explanations for the findings? For example, could the DNA evidence have been transferred innocently? Or could the fingerprints have been left at a different time? Highlighting any flaws or inconsistencies in these processes can effectively cast doubt on the validity of the evidence. This is not about creating doubt for the sake of it, but about ensuring that the evidence is truly reliable and has been handled with the utmost care. By rigorously examining the handling, analysis and interpretation of physical evidence, defense advocates can challenge its reliability and prevent it from unfairly influencing the outcome of a trial. This thorough approach ensures that justice is served, not just by convicting the guilty, but by protecting the innocent from wrongful conviction.